so to speak, gentlemen. It was suggested by my wife that I give a public lecture here today for charity. Well, if I must, I must. It's all the same to me. I am not a professor. In fact, I never finished university. But nevertheless, for the past 30 years, I have been ruining my health with constant, unceasing examination of all matters scientific. I'm a man of intellectual curiosity and image, and from time to time I write articles on scientific matters. Well, not strictly scientific, but approximately scientific. Why, just the other day I wrote an article entitled "On the Harmfulness of Certain Insects." My daughters loved it immensely, especially the part about bedbugs. But after I'd read it to them, I simply tore it up. After all, what difference does it make that such things are written? You still have to have naphtha. Oh, we have bedbugs, even in our grand piano. For the subject of my lecture today, is going to be the harm done mankind by the use of tobacco. I myself smoke, but my wife told me to lecture on the harmfulness of tobacco, so what's to be done? Tobacco it is. Now, I urge you, ladies and gentlemen, to take my lecture with all due seriousness, or something awful may happen. If any of you are afraid of a dry scientific lecture, can't stomach that sort of thing, you needn't listen. You may leave. Are there any doctors present? If so, I insist that you pay particular attention. For my lecture will contain much useful information, for tobacco, besides being harmful, has certain medical properties. If you take a fly and you drop him into a snuff box, he will surely die. Probably of nervous exhaustion. You notice that I blink my right eye when I lecture. Take no notice, it's simple nervousness. I'm a very nervous man, generally. I started blinking some years ago in 1989, I think it was. September the 13th. The very night my wife gave birth, so to speak, to our fourth daughter, Varvara. My daughters were born on the 13th. The time at our disposal is strictly limited, and I see I've digressed from the subject. By the way, my wife runs a boarding school. Well, not exactly a boarding school, but something in the nature of one. She likes to complain about hard times, but between you and me, she's put together a nice little nest egg, some 40 or 50,000 rubles. Me? I haven't a kopeck to my name, not a penny. And what's the use of dwelling on it? In my wife's school, it is my lot to look after the housekeeping, purchase supplies, keep an eye on the servants, do the books, stitch together the exercise books, exterminate bed bugs, take my wife's little dog for a walk, catch mice. Why, just the other day, it fell upon me to give the cook the flour and butter for today's breakfast. Well, to cut a long story short, no sooner were the pancakes made than my wife comes in and tells us that 3 students would not be having pancakes for they had swollen glands. So, it seems we had a few too many pancakes. So what's to be done? Well, first of all, my wife ordered them stored away, and then she looked at me and she said, "You eat those pancakes, you scarecrow." That's what she calls me when she's out of humour. Scarecrow, or viper, or devil. What sort of devil am I? She's always out of humour. I didn't just eat those pancakes. I wolfed them down. I'm always hungry. Why, yesterday she fed me no dinner. She said, "Well, what's the use of feeding you, you scarecrow. Oh, again, I have strayed from my subject, but some of you, I'm sure, would rather hear a romance, or a symphony, or an aria. We will not shrink from the heart of battle. Forward, be strong. I forget where that comes from. At my wife's school, my duties include teaching mathematics, physics, chemistry, geography, history, solfeggio, literature, and so on. For drawing, dancing, and singing, my wife charges extra. But the singing and dancing meister is yours truly. Our school is located at Dog Alley number 13. Perhaps that's why my life has been so unlucky living in house number 13. All my daughters were born on the 13th. I think I told you. Oh, our house has 13 windows. Oh, it's what's the use? Appointments may be had at any hour with my wife, and the school's prospectus can be had for 30 kopecks from the porter. Actually, I think I've got some copies with me. Would anyone care for one? 30 kopecks? No? How about 20 kopecks? Oh, what a shame. House number 13. I am a fool. I've become old and stupid. Here I am lecturing before you and to all intents and purposes enjoying myself, but I tell you, I have such an urge to scream at the top of my lungs and run away to the ends of the earth. There is no one to talk to. I want to weep. What about your daughters, you say? Well, what about them? I try and talk to them, but they just laugh. My wife has 7 daughters. No. Wait, it's just 6. No. Hold on, it is 7. Anna, the oldest, is 27, and the youngest is 17. Ladies and gentlemen, I have become a fool, a non-entity. But yet before you, you see the happiest of fathers. Who's to say that I am not? It's just, I have lived with my wife for 33 years. Oh. Oh. And they have passed, as it were, in thrice, and to hell with them. Don't think my wife is here yet, so I can say what I like. I'm afraid. I'm really afraid when she looks at me. And I was telling you about my daughter. The problem is, they never get married. It's probably because they're so shy. And men can never get near them. My wife doesn't give parties. She never invites anyone to dinner. She's a stingy, shrewish, ill-tempered old biddy, and that's why no one comes to visit us. But I can tell you, in confidence, that on holidays, my daughters can be found at the home of their aunt, Natalia. She's the one with rheumatism, the one that always wears the yellow dress with the black spots on it that look like cockroaches. There you can eat. And if my wife's not looking, you'll see me. You'll see I can get tipsy on just one glass. I get so happy. And then so sad. I think of my youth. Oh, and then I long to run away. Oh, if only you knew how I long to run away. To run away without ever looking back. Where? Anywhere. Anywhere, so long as it's away from this vile, cheap, mean life that has turned me into a fool, a miserable idiot. Away from that stupid, hot-headed, nasty old spiteful miser my wife has given me 33 years of torment. Oh, away from the kitchen and the music and the wife's bookkeeping ledgers and all those trivial, mundane affairs, to run away and then just stop somewhere, high on a hill, and just stand there, like a tree, like a pole, like a scarecrow, underneath that great sky and the still bright moon, and to forget, oh, simply to forget. Oh, how I long to forget, how I long to tear off this frock coat that I wore 33 years ago at my wedding and I still wear today for lectures for charity. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am a poor, shabby, tattered wretch, just like the back of my waist. But I want for nothing, nothing. I'm better than that. I was young once. I went to university. Thought of myself as a man. I had dreams. But now, I want nothing. Nothing but peace. Peace. Oh, she's here. She's in the wings. Please, I beg of you, if she asks, tell her that her scarecrow husband, the lecturer, behaved with dignity. Oh, she's looking at me. So given that tobacco contains a terrible poison, which I have had the pleasure of describing to you, smoking should at all costs be avoided. Permit me to add my hopes that these observations on the harmfulness of tobacco have been some profit to you. And so I conclude. Dixi et animum levevi, which to the unmatriculated means I have spoken and my soul relieved. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and have a good evening.